Cheers. Ooh. That Irish whiskey a little rough right now.
I've had straight tequila in a long time.
Yeah, did you have a lime with that or
No, just beer.
Oh my god. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I walked in here with my beers and my tequila, and I'm like, am I a degenerate?
We're degenerates.
Yeah,
That's what this podcast is.
Oh my God, Ryan. We did it. We have started the season off with a Formula One race that kind of slapped. Baby, it's the cool down rundown. We're going to talk about it, you and me, Brian, before we get going, before we really get into this, because I've been waiting to talk to you about this all day.
I've been itching to talk to you about this too, but first things first.
You know what else I've been itching for? A cold one.
A beautiful beer. Ooh. Oh my, that went.
That was
everywhere.
a good one. It was solid.
I'll say it. I'm excited.
Yeah?
I am pleased, Sam. I am very pleased about the first race. I think fucking slapped.
Yeah.
Just right out the gate.
I was surprised.
A very good race overall.
I was honestly surprised. I think the journalists and the podcasters and the YouTubers and the Redditors all need to owe F1 a little bit of an apology.
Yep, absolutely.
Let them cook. Just let them cook a little bit.
And like let's just briefly talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
And everyone has been talking about how horrible these new cars are because it's like Max said, it's Formula E on steroids now. It doesn't feel like proper racing. Okay, on the onboard cameras, I get it. You see the battery depletion halfway through the stretch, and these cars just aren't going flat out. But the ground effect era was the pinnacle of like maximum efficiency, and we didn't get to see enough driver interaction and fighting on track. I think we have that now.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect solution, and I am so excited to just see the next couple of races and see how these cars develop and the teams develop and learn more about it. Yeah, I'm very happy.
I'll tell you what, something I noticed right away was the cars being smaller. All of them like jam-packed next to each other. It's like, wow, that actually looks different. And then Max trying to fight Lando there at the end of the race, he was literally on his ass for 6 or 7 laps. And he was within that 1 second range the entire time. Because there's no longer that wall of dirty air that the ground effect error we were getting last, rule sets were given off. And he was just able to stay next to him the entire time. And we got some great overtakes. We got some great driving. And this is the big unknown of like, how do you attack with these cars? How do you approach these, your battery usage? Who's gonna use it correctly? Who's not?
Yeah.
And we saw some really great stuff there at the beginning.
And another aspect, too, that I just want to point out, and you and I have bitched plenty about the ground effect era and how boring it was. Plenty of F1 influencers, podcasters, fans have talked about how there's no competition on track. A little number for everyone out there who is bitching about these cars currently. Last year, at the 2025 Australian Grand Prix, there was only 45 overtakes. Sam, there was over 120 overtakes in this race this year alone.
That's insane.
We have competition again on track. So anyone complaining, respectfully, shut up.
Well,
I love it. I love it.
Dude, Australia is usually a snoozer. It just usually is. There's usually not good places to pass. There's even harder place. Like if this is a hard place to pass and we got 120 overtakes, that's crazy. Last year was an outlier because it rained like crazy and all the rookies were going off. This one was just kind of, I thought it was a really good first 30 laps and then a pretty A-okay second 30 laps that we got.
Yeah, and I factored that too because of multiple VSCs, and then it was harder for the cars to catch up, especially Ferrari. We'll get into that later. But yeah, overall, I am very excited with these regulations. I think we all, even myself, we all owe F1 and the FIA a little bit of an apology. I think they really look to see what can bring more excitement for the fans, and I think they brought that to the forefront. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, Vegas don't lie. They predicted George Russell winning this race.
Yep, they sure did. Yep.
I thought the Prancing Ponies had a shot, Ryan. I thought they had a shot.
I think so too. I still have a feeling that they probably would have lost it even without their own kerfuffle of strategy.
Right.
But I'm happy with it. Unfortunately, my bet slip lost, and I believe yours lost during qualifying. Actually,
yeah, it did. Let's I say I think it's a good time to really introduce our bet slip. Let's get this out of the way. You and me both one shot down. No points on the board.
Yep, and just for everyone who doesn't know, Sam from my bet slip, he picked the safe bet, which was Max would be the fastest qualifier. Little did he know Max's car would just have a software issue and force Max into a wall.
Dude, I saw that. I saw it in slow motion. Like my eyes saw it in slow motion. I was like,
well, it was so funny because whenever I was watching it live, I saw the car and I was like, oh no, Isaac. And then they were like, it's Max Verstappen. I'm like, oh my God.
I knew immediately it was Max because I knew he was on a fast line. I was like, fuck. And what your bet was the medium risk bet of Lewis Hamilton winning the race, correct?
Yes. And so obviously that didn't happen. So we both have to take penalty shots now.
Ryan, let's go party in the loser's corner, okay?
Yes.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Ooh. That Irish whiskey a little rough right now.
I've had straight tequila in a long time.
Yeah, did you have a lime with that or no?
No, just beer.
Oh my God. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I walked in here with my beers and my tequila, and I'm like, am I a degenerate?
We're degenerates. Yeah, that's what this podcast is.
Ryan, I want to talk about your bet a little bit with Lewis Hamilton losing out, because I think it also kind of buys into the Ferrari losing out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just walk me through what you thought during this race, because I think it was a pretty interesting race from the perspective of a Ferrari fan.
I feel bad for my wife because she had to deal with me just screaming like a lunatic for the first 19 laps. I didn't know what to expect, Sam, because qualifying was all over the place for Ferrari. They looked great in Q1. They were out on mediums, the only team to go out on mediums, and they were putting up some pretty quick times. Q2, they kind of shit the bed, squeak into Q3, and then it was just bad deployment, cold tires. Lewis started P7, Charles started P4, but I've been waiting for this. Is the race start actually going to be goated for Ferrari? And my God, is that car a fucking rocket ship off the line, Sam? Seeing Charles just scooch past Isaac, Kimi, and George into turn one, I'm like, let's go! I was electric. I had a feeling George was going to catch up real quick, and he did. And I thought that was going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
Little did I know, these dudes are just going to be playing Mario Kart and just bouncing back and forth, just swapping leads every few laps. It was exciting. It was so exciting to just see a car in red actually compete at the front of the grid again after a year of disappointment. Lewis is happy.
Dude,
Lewis is happy with the car.
A smile.
I haven't seen him smile since probably 2021. Like, it has been a minute since that boy was happy. So, yeah, I was very pleased with Ferrari's car and execution. The only blemish on their day was not pitting during the first VSC opportunity. I think that would have drastically changed the outcome for them. Maybe they could have gotten a double podium. I don't think they could have stopped George still. I think George still would have won the race.
That's interesting, because I was going to say, I wanted to say a quick thing about your race opening. One, we called it. We called it right. We are F1 gods. Listen to us. We have the proper knowledge here on the cooldown rundown. We were correct. I thought it's great seeing Leclerc get off the line. Lewis Hamilton get off the line super quick. Arnold Lindblad got off the line super quick, and it's like, what? Why did he? Because he was tearing it up at the beginning as well, out of nowhere.
Shout out to the rookie, man.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I thought you were about to say about the pit stop strategy because I thought you were about to say, oh, we're so back with these with the race starts, and then fucking up the pit stop strategy. It's so over in the Ferrari circle.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting you say because I know Leclerc also said that they don't think they had the pace to win it. I don't know, man. I think if they could have kept track position and stayed in front of them, I think Leclerc could have given George a run for his money the entire time at the end of the race. I think that Mercedes is strong, but to like get by him, like he would have forced George to really use his battery in the smartest way possible and keep the pass because Leclerc had his number every time he did it. Every time. I think there's a play. I think there's a play he could have won this race.
I think I think there is a possibility, but I just looking at both those Mercedes cars and just how bulletproof they seem to be, it's hard for me to want to just fully commit to the hopium of Ferrari and say, oh yeah, Charles would have caught up and then just slapped George around a little bit and won the race. Now, would I would love to just say that with my chest out? Yes, but I'm cautiously filled with hopium right now, Sam. So I'm willing to concede a little bit here about the outcome of this race.
Are you upset about the pit stop blunder though?
Okay, I'm not upset.
Ooh, okay, that's surprising me.
I am. It's not that I'm mad. I'm disappointed. I think it's the best way to put it. You know,
okay,
that's the best way of how I feel because truly, I'm elated as a Ferrari fan to have in the first race of the season Charles on podium and Lewis. If he had a couple more laps, he would have been the one on podium. Like they were there, so I know this was an opportunity for them to really just capitalize on this opportunity, and they did fuck it up, classic Ferrari fashion.
Right.
But the overall success of this weekend outweighs that one blemish in my mind.
Sure.
Was it still a little heartbreaking? Sure. But this is already such a turnaround from last season. I did not think this car was going to be nearly as competitive as it is. So
I think you're being too kind.
I'm okay.
I think you're being slightly too kind on them.
I am. But Sam, again, remember the year I just went through with Ferrari.
It's true.
I'm just happy to be here, okay? I'm happy to be in the front and competing.
I'll say what Lewis said. Why didn't we not split the strategy? There's no reason,
agree with that.
You know, at least one of them should have came in on that VSC and then taken the position with the other two, with the Mercedes, to follow their plan. I think
absolutely.
I think you're right. Like, I think there was a play for the Ferraris to at least have a chance. Maybe they would not have won this race. This kind of reminds me of Brazil with Max Verstappen pitting and trying to come back through Kimi and Lando. Mm-hmm. And you said like the play should have been to go all the way and make Lando get by him, instead of trying the other way around. And so I think it's a very similar mindset that if Ferrari wanted the win here, they should have made the play for the VSC stop because they kind of gave up the chance to win without the VSC. And I think if this season goes down, if this race is a microcosm of the 2026 season, this season's going to come down to Ferrari making the right calls every time. Like they need to make the right calls. And so hopefully they learn. I hope they learn from this mistake because they're the only team that didn't come in for that VSC. The only one. And that's harsh.
I know.
That's a harsh thing to like admit, And
yeah.
If the Mercedes have this advantage, like you're going to have to be on top of your game. So hopefully in the sport of competition that Mercedes pushes Ferrari to be better, Don't be sorry, just be better. But I feel that's a harsh thing to ask because it's Ferrari.
Yes.
So who knows? That's my 2 cents on the thing. They got a podium, yay! But it could have been more.
Like I said, I think there was a play for them to at least get double podium, and I am sad about that. And I do agree with Lewis. I agree with you 100% here, Sam. That they should have split the strategy. If they would have done it differently under that first VSC, it could be a completely different race. So yes, I am disappointed in that aspect. But again, the elation of just having both of them up front, both of them not upset about the car or everything else, I'm okay with it. Even Fred was talking about how he's not upset with the strategy they picked because the way that I'm putting myself in Fred's shoes for a second and trying to think of the mindset in that situation. The medium tires were doing okay for them in that first stint. I think they were anticipating another VSC, and then they got fucked under the second VSC because if you remember, they were too far ahead to catch it when it first opened up, and by the time they came back around, the pit lane was closed, and oh man, that pissed me off because that is just Ferrari timing to a T, man, and that was painful. But shit happens.
All right. Well, let me ask you, Ryan. Do you think George is taking this all the way?
As of right now, yes. Mr. T-Pose himself.
He did one on the podium.
He did. It was a little. He should have held it a little bit longer. He did it too quick.
He did it. Yeah, it was half-assed. I agree.
Yes. Like if you're gonna do it right.
Commit. I'm upset that's not in the intro, the F1 intro.
He didn't do it.
Nobody does dick in that. The only one who did something is Kimmy, and he's like legit like.
Well, no. Don't forget our world champion. He did.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Held up the number.
I forgot. He's cool.
Give our current champion some credit.
Can't do no wrong. Can't do no wrong.
He got, what was it, P5, P6 today?
Yeah, I think he got P5, Ryan.
Yeah. Good job.
We'll come back. We'll come back to you, Lando. Sorry, you were saying about George. George's chances this year.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, he's obviously the title favorite. Everyone was saying it in preseason. Mercedes, they just look so good. The fact that Kimi is on the podium too in the first race, like that car is a rocket ship.
We knew we were in trouble when Toto gave us that shit-eating grin.
Oh my God, man. Okay, that was the one time I will agree with you. He is a villain. Yeah. It was so funny. Because we all know Mercedes has been sandbagging the shit out of this car since testing, since all the practices, and as soon as quali happens and we see a complete fast lap, he couldn't help himself. He couldn't help himself but just grin at that camera.
You know that wiener dog meme? He's like, I was just telling him.
It was at this moment F1 fans knew.
Yeah, dude.
We fucked up.
Right.
But I think as of right now, the only competition George does have is Charles slapping him silly around in that Ferrari. Let's hope that continues. Please, Charles, please.
I mean, what he did was naughty. What he did was naughty in that turn.
I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. Okay, George, listen, we know you're going to bitch, piss, and moan. All drivers do it. But, you literally have the Millennium Falcon right now for a fucking car, and you're going to complain about a little defensive maneuver and charging the battery? Shut up, George.
Dude,
shut up and drive.
I love that everybody's like, these cars are trash. I hate driving these cars. George wins the race. He goes, I love these cars. I love these engines. I love life.
Lewis said basically the same thing, too, in the interviews.
I was surprised. I was surprised by how genial Lewis was considering the outcome of the race. But yes, he was. I think Lewis had such a bad year last year that this is like P4. I'm A-okay. I'm A-okay fighting for P4. And Lewis, he was gaining on Charles. I think Lewis's exact words were 5 more laps I would have been on the podium. I don't know, truly, because I think Leclerc was just kind of holding it in. So I'm excited to see how the Ferraris play ball in the future, because I think they're going to need to work together a little bit to beat Mercedes. But
you know who Lewis is. Yeah. He's going to want to be the number one guy.
Yeah, he does.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Right.
But we've only talked about 2 people that were on podium, Charles and George. We're forgetting about the young Italian in Kimi Antonelli.
All of a sudden, Italians.
Good for him.
Yes.
For the folks who don't know, in the final 20 minutes of practice 3, 2 hours before qualifying happens, he crashes his car badly, No one expects for that car to come out in Q1. But the mechanics make it happen, thanks in part to Max crashing out and causing a red flag. So good job, Max. You helped out Kimmy. And Kimmy did a great job getting himself onto P2 to start the race and finish the race in P2. Like, great job, Kimmy.
I like to think that Max is being mother and trying to help out his little duckling still. Mm-hmm. You're 100% right. He did a great job. I'd like to see him like under the pressure because I think Kimmy has the pace. And honestly, if he could figure it out and like take it to George a little bit later, that'd be amazing. I don't expect much of it because George was 0.2 seconds ahead of him in qualifying, which also really quickly, I don't want to talk about qualifying too much, but the fact that George beat Kimmy by 0.2 and beat the next non-Mercedes car by 0.8 is
I was
insane.
scared. I was scared, man.
Yes.
It was in that moment I was like, Ferrari has no chance.
It's a runaway.
Yeah. But then, like, actually seeing these cars on track, I was like, okay.
Yeah,
might have,
maybe in an
actual
chance. Distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who knows how this goes in the future? Because I was listening to some after post-show, analysis, and Australia might have like suited Mercedes because there's very limited time to gain back your energy in the brakes that they have. And so maybe Mercedes has the best energy. I don't want to say retention, energy gaining in these laps. And so this might just be, I think Mercedes are strong throughout the entire season, but this specific track, they might just have had a little bit of a boost over everybody else by gaining a little bit more energy than everybody else. But who knows, in China, it's a completely different ballgame. So maybe there's other tracks that they're not as strong. And I will say, when I was watching Max versus Lando, they showed the graphic of the battery consumption and usage.
Yes.
Which I think they need to improve a little bit. They need to make that spicier. They needed to make it stick out more. I don't know. I don't know what you think about it. I think the viewers need to know what everybody's like battery percentage is at in a way that's not too distracting. But something that I noticed was when they would both drain their battery, Max versus Lando, and then when they got into the braking zone, Lando gained a little bit more battery than Max did. And I think that's part of the Mercedes engine. And I think that's just really interesting. But the fact that we got these huge gaps in qualifying, but are able to still get some close fighting, especially off the line, especially with the Ferrari turbo boost at the beginning, I think we have the recipe for success for the season. Hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. A point I wanted to bring up too that I meant to bring up earlier when we were just talking about the new iteration of these cars and the regs and everything. We had 120 overtakes, which I fucking love. But let's not forget, too, the gap between all these cars is so crazy right now. Some cars are getting lapped 3 times. Yeah. You have Alonso stopping the race and then coming back out like 10 laps later and going for like 3 more laps. And then just retiring the car again. So there is still a huge gap in some of the development. But it is nice to just see across the grid that wherever you are as a team, you can still have overtaking opportunities and still be competitive within your quadrant on the grid, like whether you're front, midfield, or back markers. So that does please me a lot too.
Yeah, I think there's plenty to look forward to. I think we have one storyline that hasn't really developed this much this race yet, Ryan, which is the Red Bulls. We had Hadjar unfortunately DNF within the first like 5-7 laps because of an engine fault, which is a shame because he did great in qualifying.
Yeah. He stepped up when Max's car just shit the bed. Yes.
And like because Max's car shit the bed and he stepped up and did it. I'm curious to know where Max would have finished in qualifying.
I think that's another part that I am scared about.
We still don't know.
Is Max is whole factor. Yes, there's a whole different variable to this championship that we are not talking about, and it's because we just haven't been able to see it yet. Yes. The fact that Max went from P20 to P6, I mean that's just what Max does. So
I will say, as a Max fan, this is the copium coming in too. I'm okay with them starting in P20 to going up to P6 because you know why? I was able to like actually focus on the race and the new regulations and to see how the Ferraris moved And like to see it all happen, knowing my boys in the back doing business against like kindergartners, back there.
But like honestly, the senior citizens silly too along the way.
I was okay not to see him today because I'm like, I wanted to focus without my own personal like bias, my own personal like anxiety of seeing Max. Because literally the race start happened and I'm like doing the 2 eyeball things of checking everybody. And I see the Ferraris move through and I literally glance back. I'm like, Max is okay. Okay. And we went back like, do. And so we still don't know as a fandom, as the entire F1 community, does Max get a podium if things worked out differently in qualifying? Who knows? Who really knows? He could be this magic key that really shakes up the status quo. And then Hadjar to be as good as he was under this new regulations, I'm excited.
Congratulations, Red Bull. You finally have a second driver for Max, I think. I really do.
I want to say something real quick about that because I do agree with you, Ryan. But here's the thing. Checo Perez was a perfect number 2 for Max until he wasn't. So I want to say right now that I think they made a good call with Hadjar and he seems to be doing fine. But let's tune in after the summer break or closer to like Texas GP when the stress and the pressure really start kicking in. Because I think what really gets these drivers, what's really gets these guys is when you compete against Max in the long term. Because that's going to be because I'm telling you, Checo did great until he didn't.
Yes, I know. I agree with you on that aspect, Sam. But I think you're also forgetting of how
it was ran.
Yes. So, and I know
that's a factor. Yeah,
I know Laurent Mekies is also completely different, and I do not believe he's putting that pressure on.
That's true.
His drivers, which I'm glad about. But in just just completely analyzing the situation that Red Bull was in last season with Liam, with Yuki.
Yep.
Neither of them were qualifying on podium to start a race, Sam. Isaac was able to do that in his first time in the Red Bull car. So, and it's a fortunate that his car shit the bed on him because I would have loved to have seen where he ended up.
Yes.
I already think this is a huge improvement. We don't know if he's going to be like
true.
Checo or anything like that, but compared to what you guys had last year, this is a huge step forward, I think.
You make some very solid points. I think this will be a topic we revisit throughout the season, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
But you make a solid point. I will come from the opinion that possibly the stress of being Max's teammate might throw some wrenches in there, but that might be mitigated by Laurent's new management style. Helmet's not there, Christian's not there. It might just be a kind of a different energy in the paddock, and that might go a long way. That's something that we're going to watch throughout the season. It's just kind of nice to have something to look out for because usually Red Bull's like, it's Max and there's nobody else. So if Hadjar can bring it up and keep it going, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Hell yeah. Sam.
Ryan.
We're also forgetting that there's a brand new team on the grid this race.
Yes.
Cadillac. They got their first race, and one of them survived at least.
Ryan, we're gods. We're F1 gods. We predicted it. Cadillac was going to be absolutely nowhere in these races. And hey, that's okay. That's completely fine. They should be proud that they finished a race because guess what? There's other teams out there that did not even be able to finish the race at all.
Yep.
So, yeah, hats off to Cadillac for developing a car that can finish a race because that's hard, man. I cannot stress to you how difficult that must be to hire brand new engineers, new drivers into the community from Perez and Bottas to get the last garage in there and get the tires on there and drive and make a car that can do an entire race. Like that is hard work and that should be praised for. They were never going to be making podiums at their get-go. It was never going to happen. I can say that definitively with my chest, but I've been saying that since preseason. And I feel like a lot of American fans were like, I can't wait to see what Cadillac does. It's going to be years, man. It's going to be years. It's going to be a great day when they make points.
Yes.
I will eat my words if they make points before the halfway of this season. I think it's going to take them an entire year, if not 3, to be really good.
F1 fans, whether you are an American fan, whether you're just a fan of Cadillac or whatever, you need to approach this team as the Patrick meme in SpongeBob with the Rock race, and he's like, "It's okay, Rocky, you go when you want to." You have to look at it that way, because, like you said, it is just a huge accomplishment to be able to build a car that's reliable enough to survive a fucking Formula One race in a brand new regulation cycle. And let's also not forget, it's not like these other teams are helping them out. It's just like, congratulations, you're here. Now get fucked. Enjoy the back of the pack, because like you got to figure it out on your own. So hats off to them for the accomplishment they have already.
Agreed. So fantastically put, Ryan. I think there's another team that deserves a little bit of praise.
I agree with you.
And that is it's Audi.
Yeah.
P9 with Gabriel Bortoleto. They also had a problem with Hulkenberg's. He didn't even get to start the race, but they secured points in their first race under the new management, new team. They're actually trying this time, and they secured points. It's a good feat. That's awesome, dude.
There is a reality out there, Sam, an alternate reality where Gabby's car doesn't shit the bed at the end of Q2 and get stuck in the pit lane. That he might qualify higher than P10 to start the race. Like, we don't know. Like, I wish we could have seen that. And I don't know if you saw that during qualifying, but it just completely died. And then the Racing Bulls came in behind him and almost crashed into the back of his car, which is scary to be on a whole different level. But yeah, Gabby doing a great job. Audi doing a great job. It's a shame about Nico, but I'm sure they'll work out those kinks. Yeah, great job, Audi, as a team. That's very exciting.
Ryan, are you feeling generous?
I'm always feeling generous.
I say we keep going down the hype train, because I got a couple more people to hype on, and then a couple people to shit on.
I already know who you're gonna shit on, but let's keep on the hype train.
Let's keep on the hype train. Let's go with Pierre Gasly, P10 for Alpine.
Yeah,
they were the shittiest team last year, Ryan. Last consistently between him and his teammate.
Flavio is happy. He's a happy boy right now.
He might not be, honestly. He might be like,
I expected you to win, goddammit.
Just beating the shit out of Colapinto in the back room.
He should not be beating the shit out of Colapinto for the save he had at the start of the race. Did you see that?
Colapinto? I thought that was Gasly.
No, it was Colapinto. It was Colapinto. For the people that don't know,
that was
at the start of the race, Liam had a horrible start, whether it was a battery issue, a deployment issue, or whatever. He was not getting off the line. And from the driver's POV, Colapinto just sees the ass end of Liam's car and has mere milliseconds to course correct. He turns towards the wall, fishtails the back end of his car to get around him and keep going. And it is so crazy. In the cooldown room, George has the biggest reaction about it, and rightfully so, because it is insane.
That was the first time we saw it, because like I was watching it and I was like, George goes, and I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, I rewound it. I was like, we did not see that. And then Crofty himself is like, we did not see that replay. That was insane, the save that he had. We cannot state how good that was. So you're right. Yeah. You're right. At least he didn't crash it, because that would have been on brand for Colapinto.
It would have been. It would have been so on brand for him. So good job, Alpine in general. Good job, French.
Good job. While we're at it, while we're feeling generous, let's give a shout out to Arvid Lindblad
for our rookie
watch. Yeah. He gave Max a couple laps for his money. While watching it.
I love that. I love that so much. He said, "Fuck your 4 titles, Max. I'm gonna do me." And then he got slapped silly eventually. But hey, good for him to, make it a little challenging.
I'll tell you what, now I'm like, yeah, good for you. Show him your balls. Do what you need to do. At the time, I was like, somebody needs to get on a fucking radio and tell him to move.
Meanwhile, I'm over here just like, keep it going.
Dude, that was some solid racing. So if we got one rookie, and then points right away on his debut. And beating Lawson out for his, beating Lawson out big time, B7. That's great.
I attribute, because even Lawson had a really good qualifying. I mean, I'm pretty sure both of the Racing Bulls qualified in the top 10.
They definitely did.
Yes,
they definitely.
So I think it was the bad start that really put Liam on his back foot for the race. So hopefully he can turn that around. But yeah, great job, Racing Bulls. They have a competitive car. Good job, Haas.
That's the last one I want to talk about.
Yeah, yes. They are best of the rest right now, dude. They look solid.
Oliver Behrman, best of the rest after the Mercedes, Ferraris, McLarens, and Red Bull. After the top four, number one up there is Oliver Behrman. Second year in F1, killing it, making SD Bestie look like a fraud. That's some good shit. That's some good shit, man.
Hey, for the people that want an American team to be doing good, you need to start cheering for Haas a little bit too. Do not forget about Haas.
Where you came from. Remember who you are.
Yes. All right, Sam. So we've been generous. Who do you want to shit on now? We got to shit on someone.
I'm shitting on fucking McLaren. Sorry. Even though they beat Max today.
Something's never change.
Some things never change. I feel like there's two aspects of this. Hell yeah, Ryan. There's two aspects of this because Lando Norris, I think, realizes that his team is in a build year again, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is.
They're a customer team. They weren't expecting for Mercedes to be this good.
Yeah, they put all their chips in on the last regulation, which I think is actually interesting in the mindset of what these teams go for. Do you go for it all? Do you take it when you get the chance, or do you save a little bit for the next regulations? Because I feel like Mercedes and Ferrari, where they were not doing the best and getting podiums here and there.
Well, there's two sides of that coin, Sam, because you have these teams that either put all their chips in, like McLaren and Red Bull, to really kill the ground effect era. And then you have these teams like Mercedes and Ferrari that plan for the next regulation, and it seems to be working out for them. But on the same token, you have another team in Williams being like, I'm not thinking about 23, 24, 25. I'm thinking about 26, and you are back in the midfield again. Congratulations.
Also, how many chips do you have? Because I feel like McLaren doesn't have as much chips in the resources that Mercedes has, you know?
Yeah.
Mercedes is able to fight maybe one-handed and, you know, prepare for the next season with their left hand and still race with their right, whereas McLaren, because they're a customer team, like they might, you know, if we get into a new regulation set in 5-8 years, and if they want to be serious about hitting, you know, right off the block, they're going to need their own engines or something. You know, they're going to need their own.
Yeah.
They're going to need to make Red Bull moves to like get their own engine. And like you just said, that can go both ways. Aston Martin made moves to get Adrian Newey and Honda engine.
Yes.
And they are big losers this weekend, you know? So, like, I feel like McLaren is just right down middle of the road, and that's a little hard for our defending champion. Like, you're going to wear that one for 1 year, and I'm not taking it away from you. I'm really not. You won the championship. That's your right to do it, but I think Lando is very aware of the situation he's in for this season.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe... Chat, we could be wrong too. Maybe
they just kill it after summer.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they come out of China and they're just slapping silly again. Who knows? But I do think they are going to be in a development year for a good chunk of it. They're going to have to try to close that gap somehow, and unfortunately, they are on their back foot.
Yeah, I want to say, someone else is on the back foot. Someone who is not having a good time in Australia. Oscar Piastri.
Sam, is it a curse? Is he like the new Charles with Monaco? Is it a curse?
It might be a curse if you like shank Danny Rick in the back to take his seat.
Yeah.
And then like that's the other end of this deal is that you have a horrible Australia. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know.
Like whenever Gavin messaged us, I thought he was joking. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I saw the video footage. I'm like, oh my God.
I tuned in immediately.
On the outlap to get to the grid, man. And that happens is crazy work.
I want to say something. I want to say something in Lando Norris's favor, and I would like it to go down on the record.
Oh, chat. Tune in. Let's lean in a little bit here for this.
I saw a comment perfectly that encapsulated this. That if Lando Norris wrecked that car in the pre-race procedures, the amount of shit that Lando Norris would be getting right now would be insane.
Oh, yes.
I feel like not many people, including you and me, like we're talking about it now, not many people are really talking about Oscar Piastri fucking it up. And even I was watching the post-race show with F1. Even they were like, nah, it just tells you how hard these cars are. You know, only one guy fucked up on the on the intro, the pre-race lap. And I've seen like drivers who Max has done it in Hungary. Like it does happen sometimes. Max did it in Hungary when it was raining. So like, and what Oscar basically said, what he said happened is that he went out with a full battery. So when he downshifted and he applied the gas, he did not expect to have that much horsepower underneath his seat. I've never seen Oscar actually look mad. He looked upset in the interview in the press room. They were giving him a press tour while the race was actually happening, which I want to circle back to. Like, I've never seen him actually upset that much. That's a hard way to start the season. It's a hard way to start the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are right. Like, I think we do need to be more critical of him in this situation, especially whenever he was fighting for a championship last year. He knows how to drive a car. I know these are different. I know people are still trying to figure them out.
Everybody's in the same boat?
Yeah, everyone's in the same boat. There was no rain. There was no nothing. It wasn't like it was a software issue. You miscalculated and you paid the price for it. And another aspect too, well, not an aspect, but I think something that is really funny when he talked about Danny Rick. I think I sent this meme to you guys earlier in our group chat on Twitter, and it was the images of Danny and Mark Webber in heaven, and it said, "Come join us, Oscar." And it's just like it really is like. Yeah. Is it going to be the Australian curse again for these drivers? Or is he going to be able to bounce back and have a decent season? These are questions I want to ask.
There's something really quick I want to talk about with the Oscar. Oscar gave his interview during the race. Like, it's literally like lap 7 or 8. Like, they put it in the picture box for some reason of Oscar just like chit-chatting, but they didn't give us any audio.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, Oscar. I think it's actually really interesting that Oscar is doing these interviews. And I'm telling you, dude, he looked pissed. Like, he just looked upset and dejected. Do you know what Carlos Sainz was doing in Australia last year when he crashed on lap 1?
No, actually. What was he doing?
He was on the pit lane talking with their mechanics to give Albon the best chance of doing his performance. And I believe Albon did really well that race because who's the team principal for Williams again? What's his name?
James Vowles.
James Vowles said like Carlos's perspective was pretty valuable in us making decisions with Alex Albon. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, I know you have media duties, but like,
well, do you think maybe he didn't want to? Maybe he thinks differently now based off of what happened last season.
I think there's a possibility of that. Like, hey, he's the champion. You guys can figure it out. I think I honestly do. And for Sainz's perspective, it was his first race at a new outfit, but his ass was in the rain on the pit lane talking to his boss about, hey, how do we make the most out of the situation? Maybe this is the question for the chat. I really don't know, but I think there is something to read into that about the perspectives of the drivers in that instance. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. You let me know. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I thought it was an interesting.
No, I think there's something there for sure, but I think there's something to be said. I think it's based off of his experience with the team last season. I really do. And yeah, I can go on and on and on about that, and I will not do that today because I've done that plenty last season. But yeah, there's something to be said about how the events unfolded last season for Oscar to how he's acting now, I think.
Well, Brian, it's the first race of the season, and the points have been divvied out. We have a championship leader, both in constructors and drivers, both being Mercedes, George and Mercedes. But I think the back half is going to be a little interesting. And I actually I want to see how you approach this because we have a couple DNSs as well. Tell me, how is the Ryan point system looking for the inaugural Ryan point system for 2026?
Hey. It's a little crazy, Sam. It is a little crazy. It took a while to formulate and just kind of see where everyone's stacked up again. As I talked about in our preview episode, it has changed a little bit. It's still aggregate for the back half of the grid to make sure it's more equitable. But then from P10 and up, you're also getting the same amount of points dumped on as you would have in the regular F1 system. So
got it. So real quick,
to make it a little more interesting.
So you get 1 point if you're 22nd, 2 points for 21st, 3 points all the way up until you're into 10th place. And then you get the same points that you got last year in the RPS, but plus the official F1 points.
A little bit, yes. Whenever we originally designed this, it was matching the same point gaps as what the F1 system is. So it's not like a complete slap on double, because at that point it would have been like George, he would have gotten 22 points for my point system, tack on another 25 for this system.
Yes.
We didn't do it that way. Okay. It had the same ramp up from 10 up. So the gaps are still the same.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited to see it. Do you have a visual?
I do. Give me 1 second to pull it up. All right. So we'll start with the drivers right now just to get it out of the way. Easy enough for me. It is the exact same order as the results of the Australian Grand Prix. So this will be the easiest to calculate. So first place is George, as we know, 37 points. P2 is Kimmy with 30. Charles in 3 with 27. Lewis in 4 with 24. Lando in 5th with 22. Max in 6th with 21. Because he also got fastest lap of the race, he got the additional points.
Did he really?
He did.
My goat.
Yes, sir. P7 was Oliver with 18. P8 is Arvid, our rookie, with 16 points. 9 is Gabrielle with 14. 10 is Pierre with 13. 11 is Esteban with 12. 12 is Alex with 11. 13 is Liam with 10. 14 is Franco with 9. 15 is Carlos with 8. 16 is Sergio with 7. And then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 all did not start or did not finish the race. That is Lance, Fernando, Valtteri, Isaac, and Oscar and Nico. So they all get 0 points right now. Because the whole thing for my point system is you have to cross the line. So you have to finish the race. The line. Yep. So that's why I know Lance technically got the classification and he was like 15 laps behind, I think, or even further than that.
He did get the classification.
Classification, but fuck that. I want the cars to cross the line.
Well, I don't know. Lance, because I'm looking at it now, because that was going to be my big question to you was, do you give points for people that did not finish? Obviously, you didn't give points for if they didn't start. But if they didn't finish, Lance is classified as 15 laps down, but I think he's not classified because it goes 15th Sainz, 16th Perez, and then the first non-classified is Stroll. So I don't think he's classified in the F1 standings.
Oh, well, perfect. So we match up then.
It worked out.
Yep. Cool. And then, so tacking it back onto the Constructors' Championship, we'll start from the top down again. Mercedes must love the Gen Z meme of 6-7 because they are in first place with 67 points right now. P2 is my boys in red and Ferrari with 51 points. Wow. 3, Sam, is Haas with 30 points. I fucking love that.
Right now it's McLaren. Right now it's McLaren in the real one.
Yep. P4 is Racing Bulls with 26. P5 is McLaren with 22. P6 is Alpine with 22, so they're tied right now. Actually, I should fix that next time going forward. P7 is Red Bull with 21. 8 is Williams with 19. 9 is Audi with 14. 10 is Cadillac with 7. Shout out to Sergio. And poor Aston Martin pulling up the rear in 11th with 0 points. That is the Ryan point system for the first race of the season.
I think that's interesting. I already like it, Ryan. I already like it a lot. I feel like we learned a lot last season.
We did. We absolutely
But I like
did.
this one because I think it's going to be interesting because your outlier is Haas, for sure. They're way up there. They're up in 3rd in the podium. And Red Bull Racing in the real world is 4th, and I think you had them, 6th or 7th?
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Oh, my God. We're cooked.
We're cooked. That's awesome. I'm liking it. I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes for the season.
Yeah. Stick with us, chat. It will definitely be, I think, a lot more entertaining. I think there'll be a lot more movement across the entire grid, especially in the constructors. So excited to see how this unfolds, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right. You ready for some awards ceremony, Ryan? Time to div out the awards for Cooldown Rundown.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
We have our designated driver, who, somebody who does really well on the track and keeps us safe on the way home. We have our drunk driver, somebody who got a little too tipsy.
They get the DUI.
You got that DUI. And then we got the mad dad or the pissed off experienced driver, somebody who also, by the way, doesn't have to be an actual driver.
I still disagree with that, but whatever.
The people have spoken, Ryan. I would like for you to, respect the people's decisions, okay? This is a democracy here when it suits me.
Fine. Yeah, sure. You see what I have to deal with here, y'all.
Let's start with a designated driver, Ryan. We need somebody to take us home. Who's going to take me home tonight, Ryan?
I'll give you a tune. Da 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 da.
Oh,
Max
all
Verstappen.
right.
I think that the easiest answer would be George Russell. He drove
Yeah,
a
it's too easy.
fantastic race. But I mean, think about it. When you have Max starting at the back of the grid with a chaotic race with brand new cars and being able to just slither his way up to a top 10 finish, very, very good, solid drive, very clean. It was Max. For me, it's a no-brainer for Max. What about you? Who do you have for designated?
I actually really didn't have anybody, so I'm actually so glad you mentioned Max because that's an easy one to agree to. The only two I was going to possibly give it out to, because I do like to give some like extras out there, was possibly Lando, because I thought he actually held off Max well. But he didn't do anything else for the race, so like I already concede that. But the fact that Lando did not make a mistake for those like 8 laps that Max was breathing down his neck, I will give the man credit where it's due, and that was impressive. That was straight up. He had to be perfect, and he was. Like, he is impressing me in certain scenarios. So that was one. And the other one, I was going to say Gasly until I found out it was Colapinto for avoiding Lawson. I thought that was a great save. If it was Gasly to avoid Lawson and to get a point for Alpine, that was going to be my pick, but it wasn't. So, but I think Max is a very solid pick. That's not the obvious one for George. I agree.
And hey, we are aligned with the F1 fans out there, as Max was the driver of the day.
He was.
Sam, that brings up our drunk driver. Who is your pick for drunk driver of the day?
I got a good one. I think I got a really good one, Ryan.
Okay.
Fernando Alonso. This is the guy. This is the guy.
I know where you're going with this.
This is the guy that got too drunk, and we sent him home. We got an Uber, and we sent his ass home to get him out of there. He was not ready for the night. And then 10 laps later, he comes back out like, "Hey!" It's like, how did you?
Fuck.
Yeah,
Man.
how did you get back to the bar? He's like, "I'm ready. I rallied."
I drove. It's fine. Yeah. And you just see his car is just absolutely as fucked up as Leonardo DiCaprio's car in Wolf of Wall Street.
It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, that was, to me, that was like, I thought that was the perfect one. Like, you send your buddy home and he meets you at the next bar. You're like, how did you get back out here, man? What happened, man?
How are you not dead? Like, what is going on? All right, that's a good one. I can hear that, but I have another option for you.
Hit me,
Liam. Because think about it this way, Sam. Okay, you're in traffic. Okay. You're stuck at a light.
Hold on. This is the first story for the cool down rundown this season. Hit me. Let me get situated here.
Okay. You're at a light. You're stuck in traffic. Okay, and then light goes green. People start moving. You start accelerating. All of a sudden, you are about to crash into the car in front of you because that guy is so drunk he fell asleep and didn't start moving the car, and you almost die because of him being so fucked up. That was my thinking for drunk driver. He didn't even get to drive. He was so drunk to start the race.
And you know what? He also picked the fight with the one Mexican on the track.
Wait, we didn't even talk about that.
Dude, yeah. I was like, this man has it out against Perez for the car that's going 4 seconds slower than everybody else in the lap. He is still rubbing wheels with this guy. Like, they are mad at each other.
For those who don't know, in 2024, when Liam was thrown into then V-Carb for the first time,
Mr. Team
he was notorious for fighting against Checo at every race and like being cutthroat with this man. And it was one of the reasons why he got elevated to Red Bull to start off last season, was because of how he was fighting Checo.
This man flipped off Checo in Mexico during the race.
I forgot about that.
In Mexico.
Oh, the disrespect.
Checo's a god down there. Like, jeez. Yeah.
And so to see him still doing that in the poor American Cadillac car, that is
the Cadillac tractor, you know.
I forgot all about that. But yeah, that's a great nod too about.
Do you want to make that our question for our listeners?
Yes, let's ask our fans, who was the drunk driver of this race? Is it Fernando Alonso or Liam Lawson?
Is it Alonso or Lawson? I think it's a good question. Let us know in the comments below. And that gives us one last award, Ryan. Our Mad Dad PED. I have one idea, but
I have an idea too.
Okay, I would like to hear your idea because I'm kind of scraping the barrel.
Yep, I was scraping the barrel too, but I think there is a good rationale to this. I think Lewis.
I was going to say Lewis.
Okay,
he's the only one who got on the radio with any kind of like displeasure, in my opinion.
And
besides maybe George a little bit at that one point, but
it was because of the VSC and not
and
splitting the strategy. Right. Yep, and he was rightfully angry about that. I think that is deserving of Mad Dad
Lewis
for this race
was
because
like
it was
the
pretty
guy,
low key.
Dude, he was like the Mad Dad, be like, we should have got off at that exit, shouldn't we have? And like. He's like trying to be happy for the kids in the back.
Yeah, but he's actually pissed off at his wife, being like, "You fucked up the navigation again."
He's
gonna
remember it for the next trip. He's gonna remember that. Like, I remember when you told me the wrong exit. So
next time he's just gonna take the exit on his own accord.
Right? Yeah, he will. Yeah, that's true. Now, oh man, imagine if Lewis just came in.
He should have. He honestly should have.
That'd have been risky because they'd have to get the tires. Like that would have. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm coming." That would have. That's what I'm going to see this season. That's what I want to see.
I feel like we're going to see that from him. I think we have the car. He has the car now. I mean,
we talked about that last year. That one of these drivers really need to take matters into their own hands. That'd be a way to do it.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad we agree on Mad Dad then.
Oh yeah. Well, Ryan, this is the moment where I really ask you who do you think is going to like win next week. But we're going to hold off on that because we have preview episodes now. So I don't have much to ask you. Just much to look forward to. We will get a episode out by probably Friday before practice, and we got sprint races in China. That's interesting.
We do.
So let's see what happens.
To discuss. Lot of points to dish out. So much to happen.
Oh yeah, so much alcohol. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait to talk to you then. But in the future, I'll see you there.
I'll see you then, brother.